She's now become a multi-millionaire and she's saying they're lying to you about buying a house. Let's find out.
We put a lot of pressure on people today that as soon as they start working, they need to get onto that property ladder. But there's
Very
ways
true.
to build wealth that don't require you to be in the real estate
Property
game,
ladder,
including
yeah.
3 numbers that everyone should know when it comes to their personal finance: 65, 20, 15. Just knowing that creates a better life for yourself.
Nischa Shah is the former high-profile investment banker turned financial mentor,
whose content has helped millions rethink their relationship with money,
break free from crippling debt,
and take the first steps toward building lasting wealth.
Everything is trying to pull you away from your money. Cost of living going up, prices going up, fighting against marketing to keep your money in your pocket. You earned this. So it's becoming harder and harder, and I've gone through this. I followed society's version of money until I realized that if I continue living this way, the freedom, the choice, the options that I want aren't going to exist. Hold on, give me a second. And I felt really trapped at times, but I didn't know how to escape. And I know a lot of people are probably hearing this and thinking, I'm also in that place. And so I really feel like my purpose is to help as many people to go from feeling trapped to freeing themselves and using money to do that. Wasn't expecting that.
I've always said this.
People are hungry for easy money tips, and these stay the same regardless of how much you earn. So we could talk about the Peace of Mind Fund, and doing that puts you ahead of 59% of Americans. Then there's building your emergency buffer, and this does more for your emotional
Emergency
well-being
fund.
than earning over 200k. But with the way cost of living is going, you cannot save your way to retirement. So this is when you want to move on to investing. That is the easiest way to make money. And my principle with investing is very, very simple, and it's just
I've always said this,
Listen,
man. I'm telling
to my
you.
regular listeners, I know you don't like it when I ask you to subscribe at this.
All right, we're gonna now
So if
jump
someone's
to the most played. But I've always said this. Most people aren't actually concerned about becoming super rich. They just want the freedom. They've understood that there's a matrix, if you want to say, and you're trapped. And it's intentionally designed to keep you there. And I need to escape.
Listening to this right now, and they resonate with this idea of they're slightly avoidant. They don't really have a plan. They're kind of just, they get paid, they answer their bills, and then they wait till the next payday. They're not being intentional with their money.
Paycheck
Is
to
there a
paycheck.
step one in taking back control?
the very first thing, number one, that I would say to do is build a peace of mind fund.
A peace of mind fund.
This is
Essentially
not
an
about
emergency
maths.
fund.
It's not the mathematically optimal thing to do, but it is the psychological, because as we've discussed, money is as much about emotions as it is about numbers.
Becoming
So
your
I'll
own
say
bank.
Is go through the last 30 days of your bank statements and calculate exactly how much it costs for 1 month of your living. So mortgage, rent, utilities, bills, minimum debt payments, car payments, whatever that total is, that's the amount that you want to save up for your peace of mind fund.
Okay, so I go through my last 30 days
30
of my
days.
bills. I find out that it's cost me, let's say, $1,000.
Okay. That's 1 month of your core living expenses.
Yeah, so I need to save $1,000.
You don't need to invest it. You don't need to save it. You don't need to, it's not for a holiday. The reason why you want to save this is because when life does what it does best, which is throw
And it will
curveballs,
happen.
you want to make sure that you have it handled. If a boiler breaks, your car dies on a Monday morning, the last thing you want on top of the stress of dealing with that thing is the financial stress of how you're going to pay for it. That's what this thing covers. It tells you, I've got peace of mind. Whatever life throws at me, I can handle it. And saving that 1 month of living costs puts you ahead of 59% of Americans and 30% of people living in the UK. 59% of Americans, unfortunately, can't pay for a $1,000 expense. And 30% of people in the UK can't cover 1 month of their living expenses if something happened.
What is step 2 in that regard?
Step 2, this is where we do move into the mathematical optimal thing. This is you cut the financial bleeding.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I get so many times people ask me, Nisha,
Credit
I
cards.
have 4,000, 5,000 sitting in my bank account. What should I do with it? And my first question back to them is, do you have any high interest rate debt? Because
Credit
if you
cards.
have savings of $2,000 earning 4%, but you also have credit card debt at 20%, you're leaking money more.
I'm gonna go to the most replayed by everyone basically on YouTube, because this is just the basic stuff that we know. Make sure you have an emergency fund and cut out credit debt, because it's the worst kind of debt to have. Okay, so let's fast forward to
Anomaly
it.
is property if you're using it to make money. Health
Property,
credit card.
okay.
And that's the anomaly is property if you're using it to make money. Healthcare, education, but for anything else, unless it's making you money, that's the way you want to think about it, because it does encourage extra spending otherwise.
Okay, so I'm going to pay off my high interest debts first with any spare cash that I have.
Yeah.
What's number 3?
Number 3 is build your emergency buffer.
Okay.
So it goes back to number 1.
This is your core living expenses that we've already calculated in step 1. And you want to times that by 3 if you are single, you have predictable income. Or you want to times it by 6 if you are head of household, you have a mortgage, you have unpredictable income. That's your emergency cushion. And it protects you from the bigger life things. It's the third thing you want to do. It protects you if you lose your job, if you have a health scare, if there are dependents that you need to care for. This kind of buys you that time. But there's really interesting research from Vanguard that actually showed saving 3 to 6 months of your living expenses does more for your emotional well-being than earning over 200K.
So just the peace of mind again.
100%.
It's that breathing room. 3 to 6 months of breathing room in your bank account. It just moves the needle. It's the peace of mind. It's the security. It's the stability. One of the core human needs.
It's the kind of confidence that allows you to walk into your 9 to 5 knowing even if I got fired. In fact, you know what, Bob or Johnny, I'm sick and tired of what you're saying. I'm out. Oh, you can't leave this job. Yes, I can. That kind of confidence that will give you. So as I said, once more, these are the basics. Let's go to the other most replayed, which it says how to get a salary raise. Most of you guys will be interested.
You can do whatever you want to the flat within certain restrictions and rules. And you have this piece of the earth that belongs to you. And so that's the psychological comfort that came from it. Sure, we could talk about the numbers and what investing will do and how much you can make on that. But the bit that often gets forgotten about is the invisible side, which is the peace of mind, the psychological comfort of just owning a home.
So can I ask, how much did your apartment cost in London?
$530.
So you spent 530K on it.
Yeah.
Presumably on like a mortgage or something at the time.
Yeah, I was on a mortgage.
So 530K, it's gone up 10%.
Yeah. It's gone up about 50K.
About 50K.
Yeah.
So it's now worth 580. But if you'd put that amount of money into the S&P 500.
Well, the thing with the house and a flat is you could use the mortgage. You wouldn't put that full amount in it because you had the mortgage. But if you put that deposit amount into it,
Yeah, the deposit amount.
the amount that you would put on just a down payment, the stamp duty that I would have also paid. If I save that amount and then put that amount, whatever it was, and invested that, that's the comparison that I would have made.
So how much was that in total that you paid into the property?
I put about 50, I think, K.
Okay,
Down.
so 50K, and probably the net return on that, if it's gone up 10%,
Yeah, so 10,
55K.
yeah.
And the S&P 500 in the same time has delivered roughly 10 to 12% per year on average. It has more than doubled in value since 2017. So you would have probably got
There you go.
pretty incredible return on the S&P 500. Even in the last 5 years, the S&P 500 has grown 90%.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's almost doubled in the last 5 years alone, which means you would have basically doubled your money just investing it in an index fund.
Are you looking at that from the lows of the COVID?
Yeah, it says even with the COVID lows, it says so. It has more than doubled in value since 2017, driven by strong growth in technology, despite the COVID crash and 2022 pullback.
Yeah,
That's the last
that's
7 years.
case in point. That we're looking at building wealth just through one mechanism that feels like it's urgent and needs to be done by everyone. But actually, if you're looking at it purely from a numbers and building wealth perspective, there are other ways to do that.
I've always
My
said you don't
brother
need to buy a house.
was an investment banker. He now works full time, helping with my money and helping in my companies. He went to LSE. He's a very smart guy. He's always been like the boffin in the family. He always talks to me about this term opportunity cost. So when I told him, I said, I want to buy this house in Cape Town, he was like, this is going to cost you X millions. Think about the opportunity cost.
Yeah.
And he always, every time I say I want to do this, he's like, think about the opportunity cost. And he basically stands in the way of it. what is opportunity cost, and why should people be thinking about this when they're spending their money?
So every pound or dollar that we spend is one less that we could use on something else. And that is the opportunity cost in essence. And we often don't think about life in terms of opportunity costs because we only look at the thing that is in front of us. So your brother was telling you about how you can make more money investing somewhere else, but what you saw is this one thing in front of you and you thought, no, I don't even know if I'm going to make this money elsewhere. I don't know if that's going to happen. This thing is right in front of me. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with opportunity cost. There's always a trade-off of what you can see and what you can't see. But with every decision you make, there's something else that you're saying no to. It's coming at the cost of something else.
I was thinking about that as you were talking, and just to give a bit of colour to this for people at home, and a good example of opportunity cost. So like yesterday, I bought lunch for the team, right? And the lunch cost $100. It was like this salad bar in Los Angeles. Cost me $100. Fine, $100, who cares?
You could have done something else with that money.
When I think about the numbers you shared earlier on,
And
if
got a
I'd
bigger
taken that
return.
$100 and put it into the S&P 500 in
would've made
40
more.
years, assuming I got 10% return a year, which is like the average of the S&P, that is almost $5,000. So in terms of opportunity cost, buying the team lunch for $100 has effectively cost me in opportunity $5,000 that I would have had, presuming that return in 40 years from now. So that lunch has.
So that's how Graham Stephan and a lot of millionaires even think about their money as well. They don't just think of £1 or $1 or $10 as $10. They think about it invested in the S&P 500, adjusted for inflation. What would that be? Or how much dividends can I earn from that in 5 years' time? That will stop them from spending money now. Whereas someone who isn't financially, wise up here, they will impulse buy
So
essentially.
it actually cost me potentially roughly $5,000.
Yeah. And I guess for you, it's...
That's the last time the team are getting lunch.
But
That's the last time the team are getting lunch. A bit of humor there from Stephen. Cool. What does Nischa's portfolio look like? Okay, because that's just basic stuff. Most replayed once
I think
more.
actually on that first investment I made when I was like, must have been in my early 20s, I needed the money. Like I didn't have the emergency fund or a peace of mind fund. So when it started to go down a little bit, naturally you kind of panic. So I think in the second season of life where I started investing in Ethereum and Bitcoin, it didn't really matter if I lost the money. So it made it easier to hold my nerves. And I think nerves are such a huge part of investing. It goes to what you said earlier, like it's worth taking $100 or £100 or whatever you can, which is a really inconsequential number of money, and putting it into some kind of S&P 500 or even a stock just to feel that, almost to like train your psychology and emotions of like what the ups feel like and what the downs feel like.
yeah,
It's a muscle.
Exactly.
So your investment strategy, your portfolio, you mentioned it there.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
It's 40% funds,
Okay, what kind of funds?
index funds.
The
S&P 500. I also do international markets, so UK, so emerging, developed, across all
REITs.
sectors. I also do, and I keep it very, very diversified. S&P 500 target date retirement funds that automatically rebalance. So target date retirement fund, for anyone who's listening and wondering what it is, it's essentially a fund that has different types of investments within it. So you could go onto a platform of your choice that you use to invest, and you could type in target date retirement fund, and at the end of every fund will have a year. And so you want to pick the year that is the closest to the year that you plan to retire. So if you plan to retire in 2050, that's the year that you will pick. And what that fund does is it rebalances, and the percentage of different investments changes to become more conservative as you approach retirement.
So it starts to protect you a little bit more.
Exactly.
So it goes risk off. It kind of goes less risky. Or?
It becomes less risky because you don't want to be investing the same when you don't have that much time as you. If you're investing in your 20s, 30s, you have enough time to
Different
ride out the
strategy.
stock market waves.
So that's 40% of your portfolio.
That's 40%. 30% is real estate.
Okay. In all parts of the world?
No, just in the UK.
Just in the UK? Okay.
Then I'd say about 25% I'm putting back into my business at the moment.
Okay.
And then the remaining is between crypto and cash and cash reserves.
Okay. What about investing in
Not
yourself?
individual stocks.
Because we think about education and skills and stuff like that. Should we be investing a small amount of money into ourselves in some capacity?
Of course.
100%. I think you just don't stop investing in yourself at any point in time. It goes down to increasing your income, increasing your skills, increasing your value, which then has a knock-on effect on everything else that you're investing into.
It's a really interesting time to be leading a business. New skills are constantly being invented, and ones that didn't exist.
The best books.
You made a video about 40 books that you've read that improve your own financial literacy. If there was one...
Before she says, because he's about to ask her if there's one book you would recommend or something, I'll tell you my books right now, okay? That will change your life. The Richest Man in Babylon will change your life. I've reread that book so many times because it just rewires your mind. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. It has some dodgy parts near the end where it's a bit... It talks about SEX, magic, and all of this stuff. I don't really vibe with that. But the large majority of it is also about rewiring your mind, especially the bit where he talks about his child was born deaf and they told him he could never hear, but he disagreed and went against the grain. Eventually, the child ended up hearing, which was almost supernatural, and he was saying how you could tap into that. But I would say stick with The Richest Man in Babylon, where he talks about Arcad, how to manage your money, how you can multiply your money, how you can make money grow. If you haven't read that book, I promise you'll never get good with money. It literally created the individual you're watching right now. So I'll be surprised if she doesn't mention that. I'll genuinely be surprised.
You recommend people to read that you think is most accessible and will advance their financial literacy in the most profound way, that did that for you?
Richest Man in Babylon.
Recommend?
Please say
Think
it.
and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
It's
Well,
not
I did mention
actually
that.
about financial literacy, but it's around money mindset. And the other book to start with when it comes to financial literacy is also The Richest Man in Babylon. When people don't learn about money, it's because they find it quite boring
Told you.
and not very interesting. So Richest Man in Babylon does a good job in
So she basically was
intertwining
saying
the novel
the two books that I mentioned.
into
Crazy.
financial literacy concepts.
I've not read that book. I've heard a lot about it though.
Oh, my
It's-
friend, you're
the
missing
underlying
out.
principles when it comes to money don't really change much, and it really starts at the basics when it comes to saving and spending. So it's a good starting point.
I
Are there
feel
any
like
other
rereading it
principles
again.
of building wealth that we haven't talked about? I mean, we haven't talked about payday routines, but I've heard you talk at length about what we should do when we get paid every single month. Some of the things we've talked about already, like knowing your reference point, which was point one, right?
That was your peace of mind fund. I guess
Yeah.
knowing your reference point is essentially just understanding where your finances break down and what buckets they fall into. So I would actually say this is really important for anyone to know, and it's the 3 numbers. It's called the 65, 20, 15. And it's 3 numbers that anyone should know when it comes to money and their own personal finance.
Okay, 65, 20,
is there?
15, okay.
And the way it works is the idea of it is to take your net income. This is your take-home pay after you pay taxes, not the number on your job description. The number after you pay state contribution, all other taxes. And you want to split that into 3 buckets. The fundamental, which is your core living expenses, everything that is essential to your living costs, mortgage or rent, utilities,
Your existence.
groceries, minimum debt payments, car payments, all of that should make up approximately 65% of your net income.
Okay.
The 20%, that's for your fun spending. These are for the pottery painting that you booked last minute, the Glastonbury tickets, the Pilates class. That should make up about 20% of your take-home pay. And the remaining 15%, that's for your future you. That's today's you, planting seeds for tomorrow's you. And that should go to savings, investments, and extra debt payments. And those are 3 good numbers that I think everyone should know and understand as a good starting point to try and benchmark your numbers or your income against those spending categories. I would say, however, if you are someone who's living closer to paycheck, those numbers might look slightly different. And it might be that you want to dial down that fund percentage to have it.
I'm just gonna keep it real. If you're someone who's living paycheck to paycheck, depends on the urgency, the sense of urgency that you have. I've always said that if you're getting chased by a lion, you run with a different level of motivation compared to if you're getting chased by a mouse, or even a insect. Okay, the lion will tear you apart. However, the insect or the mouse, yeah, I mean, they might bite you. You might genuinely be afraid of them, but it's not the same level. Different leagues. Okay, same pitch but different leagues. So meaning, if you're in trouble, if water's up to here and you're about to drown, there's no time for fun. You've been having fun your whole life with your paycheck. How's that worked out for you? Get serious for once. You know, become an adult for once and say, okay, cool. There will be time for fun later on, but right now I'm drowning. When someone's drowning in the swimming pool, do they think about fun? Oh, I really, really want to watch football right now and have fun and have a beer. No, they think to themselves, it's a life and death situation. They're fighting for their life. So if you're in that situation, I say cut out the fun, man. It's not glamour and all of this YouTube stuff. It's real life. Take your life serious and say, okay, cool, I need to come out of this. I'm going to have fun later on. I'm an adult, fully grown adult, and I need to get out of this situation. Let's see the comment section real quick. Thank you, Nischa. This was amazing already. I mean, we skimmed through some of the best parts or the highlights, should we say. But this was a genuine good podcast. I'm going to watch it off camera, the whole entire thing. So God bless you, Nischa, for that. But yeah, a bunch of really good comments, man. You don't buy a house to build wealth. You buy a house because you want a place of your own with all the freedom and responsibility. Yeah, but is it really your own though? If it can get stripped away from you by the government? If they don't like what you're doing? I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Successful rich people, that they get their assets stripped away from them because the country's gone to war, and they've got other interests in other countries that the same country has gone to war with, and you've changed nationality, but you're not from here, you're from there, will strip your properties. That's actually happened. That's a genuine thing. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in regards to owning a real estate or buying a house, basically, in the comment section down below. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts in general. What did you think about this? You've heard what I've had to say, but what did you think about this conversation thus far? Like the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one, man.